In a month where the Phillies offense was up and down and somewhat inconsistent, the starting pitching was anything but. It was so good in the month of June. Let's talk about it next, right here on the PHLY Phillies podcast. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the PHLY Phillies podcast. Tyler Zulli here, and as the calendar flips to July, I thought I'd take a retrospective look back on the month of June that was for the Phillies starting rotation, and three guys in particular that were absolutely critical to the Phillies' success in the month of June. Zack Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, and Cristopher Sanchez. The Phillies went just one game over 500 in the month of June at 14-13, but the team as a whole gave up just 86 runs over the month of June. We'll talk more about that in just a second, but let's start last night. Zack Wheeler culminated the month of June with a start that was reminiscent of every other one that he made over the course of the 30 days. Let's take a look at Zack Wheeler's numbers over the month of June. 5 starts for Zack Wheeler, a 2-1 record through just 31 innings over those 5 starts, because if you remember, there was a time where he only went 5 innings. But the bigger number, 42 strikeouts over 31 innings pitched, a 42-7 strikeout to walk ratio. Simplified, that is a 6-1 strikeout to walk ratio over 5 starts. But the big number, the .58 ERA over those 5 starts, and an equally impressive whip at .87. Zack Wheeler had 7 or more strikeouts in every single start that he made, including last night's start against the San Diego Padres, where he struck out 10. The Padres are one of the hardest teams in baseball to strike out over the course of 2025. Only the Toronto Blue Jays strike out less per game than the San Diego Padres do, and Zack Wheeler was dominant from start to finish. The fastball was excellent, as it's been all year. But the thing that I thought was the best about Zack Wheeler's start against the Padres was he was running the curveball off of lefties' back feet, really getting them to swing over top of it. A lot of swing and miss stuff from Zack Wheeler last night, and swing and miss stuff from Zack Wheeler all month long. He's the power pitcher of this group, where he goes power fastball specifically because he has the ability to do it. And there you see his MLB percentile ranking for the season. A lot of red on his Baseball Savant page. Strikeout rates in the 94th percentile. But the big thing, and it's kind of the running theme with this starting rotation, is the average exit velocity. He's in the 90th percentile as well, which brings us to the next guy, the guy we talked about on Monday's show, the guy that we rave about each and every start. 10 consecutive quality starts for one Ranger Suarez. He does it in a different way than Zack Wheeler. Does not have a power fastball. You see he's in just the 9th percentile of fastball velocity, but he's in the 99th percentile of average exit velocity. He doesn't get barreled. He doesn't give up hard contact. He keeps the ball on the ground and in the yard, and he keeps the ball in the zone. An incredible 82 percentile walk rate for Ranger Suarez. His 6 starts over the month of June, 3-2 over 6 starts, 41 2/3 innings, which means just under 7 innings pitched per start in those 6 starts. 36 strikeouts to 7 walks, so he's well above a 5-1 strikeout to walk ratio, a 1.3 ERA with a equally impressive .86 whip, and as you can see, 7 or more innings pitched in 5 of his 6 starts over the month of June. Did it in a different way than Zack Wheeler. Didn't strike out nearly as many hitters, but does it in an unbelievably consistent manner. And we talked about it on Monday with Matt Olson. He just keeps hitters off balance. His at-bats are unpredictable in the best way possible. Each and every start over the last 3 starts for Ranger Suarez, he featured a different pitch as his primary pitch. Cutter one night, sinker the next, changeup the night before that, and he sprinkles in the curveball, the slider, and the fastball, the four-seam fastball, and really just works at bats in a pitcher's way. He is, as somebody points out in our chat routinely, he is your favorite pitcher's favorite pitcher, because he just goes about it in a methodical, surgical, determined way each and every start. Ranger Suarez has been equally excellent in the month of June, which brings us to our 3rd starter. Can't forget lefty Cristopher Sanchez, another guy who was spectacular in 5 starts in the month of June. 2-1 over 5 starts in 34 innings. He struck out 33, walked just 6, so well over a 5 strikeout to walk ratio himself. An incredible 1.85 ERA. And the funny thing is, he had the worst whip of this group at .91. He gave up 2 earned runs or less in all 5 of his starts in the month of June. A lot of red on his Baseball Savant page as well. The things that we know Cristopher Sanchez does well: he doesn't get barreled, and he keeps the ball on the ground. 55.6% ground ball rate for Cristopher Sanchez this year, to go with the 76th percentile or better in strikeout rate, chase rate, whiff rate, and he's keeping the walks to a minimum for the most part. 4 of his 6 walks in June came in 1 start, so just 2 walks over his other 4 starts in the month of June. So collectively, this group, how good were they? They were 7-4 this month with 111 strikeouts in 106 2/3 innings pitched. They gave up just 19 walks combined and 15 earned runs, which is good for a 1.27 ERA between the trio. And even better, the whip was outstanding. A 0.881 whip combined for this trio. The Phillies as an entire staff this month were excellent. As I said, gave up just 86 runs all month of June, and 17 times this month gave up 2 runs or less in a game. Now, if you think about their last 10 games, which is really where they locked in, they gave up just 26 runs over a 10-game stretch from the beginning of the Mets series to the first game of the Padres series. That stretch is 10 games. That's good for just a 2.6 runs against average over a 10-game stretch. And 17 of those 26 runs, 11 against the Mets on the Saturday and 6 against the Braves this past Saturday, came in 2 starts. So you're talking about in the 8 other games, the Phillies rotation and their bullpen and their staff as a whole gave up just 9 runs in 8 games. Now you can look at this one of 2 ways. The Phillies were 14-13 over the month when their pitching was that good. Yes, they won games 3-2, 2-1, and 2-1. But over the month, they also lost games 2-1 4 separate times, lost a 2-0 game, and lost a 1-0 game. So in the course of 6 games in which they gave up 2 5 times and 1 once, 11 runs over 6 games, they lost all 6 of those games. The offense was up and down. It was inconsistent. Without Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber took a little bit of a step back in June compared to his month of May, where he was spectacular. Alec Boehm was starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. Nick Castellanos was finding a little bit of a rhythm, but they weren't hitting with runners in scoring position, and they weren't hitting in a timely manner over the back end of June for a stretch against the Blue Jays and a stretch against the Pirates and a stretch against the Astros. So you could look at it this one of 2 ways. The pitching was excellent and the offense wasn't. So is it the offense's problem that they only went 14-13? Probably. But in a month where the Phillies desperately needed their pitching to be borderline elite, it wasn't borderline. It was just elite. The fact that this team was 1 game over 500, despite the fact that they really didn't get much from their offense over spurts throughout the month, is unbelievably impressive. This starting rotation is going to keep the Phillies in every series that they play, no matter who they face, whether it's a cellar dweller or one of the best teams in baseball. Could be the Dodgers, could be the Padres, as you're finding out now that they're facing this series, the Mets, where they took 2 of 3, the Cubs, where they took 2 of 3, and even in the series where they lost all 3 games against the Astros, the Phillies gave up 5 runs in 3 games. This starting rotation is elite, and it's going to continue to be elite on the strength of Zack Wheeler, Cristopher Sanchez, and Ranger Suarez as we get closer and closer to the 2025 trade deadline.